We're live.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 50. Yeah, 50, I think. I hope so, John. You're moving a lot of your limbs. What's going on? Everybody, how is the sound? How is the? So I am. Well, Aaliyah asked me. She said, "Hey, Fox, you want a Santa's hat?" Sure. She gives me this one. I don't think it's a Santa's hat. I was gonna be the Jiu-Jitsu claws, but I think it's more like an elf. The elf of beating. So, seasoned beatings, guys, coming to you from northern New Jersey. We have two topics that are good, and hope I can get through both of them. Guys, start asking questions, start asking clarifications. So the first one is, what happens, how do you deal with a guy that pulls deep half guard and just holds on for dear life, really tight, doesn't really give you any openings, and basically sort of just hangs on there. If the referee taps you on your back to stay active, to start trying to pass, you start to get impatient. You start to move around, you make a mistake, and the guy sweeps you 2 points, and that's it. Match is done. So I hate that game, but nevertheless, let's look at it. Let's go this way. This is going to be a little bit. So first of all, when I go to deep half guard, notice what I do with my right leg. I sweep it back. Can you see that? So I sweep it back. I don't leave it out here because then you're vulnerable to scorpions, electric chair. So I basically sweep it back. That's one thing that I do, because if you get your leg entangled, it becomes more complex. It's not impossible, it becomes more complex. So I sweep that back, and I try to get as perpendicular as possibly can, trying to control the guy's head. If his head goes in, I'm gonna look for the guillotine wrap, which we're gonna cover later. We're gonna talk about guillotines, sort of follow-ups to guillotines, both arm in and no arm in. So I hope we get to it. So if I can, I go in front of the head. So what I'm looking for is stability, guys. Again, if I'm on top, generally speaking, hold on one second, Sean. I don't like to tie up my hands. When you tie up your hands, you become very vulnerable, like to a quick roll, and you will not be able to unravel your hands and deploy them quickly. I generally speaking, when I'm on top, if I lock my hands, it's because I'm gonna be pulling myself into mount or higher up on him. But generally speaking, rather than controlling at the neck, I control at the face. And basically, I'm floating this. So I try to have stability in that direction and in the opposite direction. So become perpendicular. And as the guy starts to rock me, let him rock. So basically, this is what I'm looking for. Obviously, again, if he goes in, I'm going to wrap his head and basically threaten a guillotine, anaconda, and those type of things. But again, this is a better solution, especially when it's deep half guard play. Now, what I'm looking to do is, because of this head control, it's very important. I'm looking for an underhook. So it's not always available, and what a lot of guys try to do is try to keep it really tight and swim under. So basically what I do is I kind of control him, and I'm looking for that underhook. As he's rocking, that opening, especially no-gi, becomes a little bit easier. With the gi, becomes a little bit more difficult because of the friction, so try to get the hand in. With no-gi, I can almost always get it. I remember training with this black belt from Europe years ago at Renzo's, and he was a specialist in this, and in one round, I think I hit him with this sequence 6 times. He was not happy. Anyways, so as he's rocking, I'm looking for, once I have the underhook, now I'm ready to move into an offensive mode. So again, when I look for the underhook, guys, I don't look for the underhook at the armpit, at the shoulder, at the elbow. This is what keeps him flat. Once I have the underhook, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to slide up. What I wanna do is get my leg underneath his head like a pillow. Yeah. From here, now, even if he holds on, he's going to hold on to that leg tight, and he may still rock. So notice I can still post with one hand. So generally speaking, I don't engage both hands. But if he's going to get on top, he has to let go with his legs. So, yeah, once his legs go, I wind up with either reverse or straight. It depends on what he gives me. If this is a longer way, but usually people will give you a reverse triangle. But you take what he gives you. I don't try to fight through into the regular triangle. It literally depends which way he kind of positions his body. I'll hit him with a reverse or straight. So let's look at what if he just realizes, okay, I don't want to come up, it's too much danger. So same type of position. So anyways, I approach, puts me in deep half guard. I sweep my right foot back to make sure I don't get caught up in scorpion. Again, if he brings his head in, I'm going to basically wrap like a guillotine type of grip, and I'm going to be looking for that underhook again. I think we covered that fairly recently, the guillotine guard passing. So I control his head again. I don't control at the neck because this is a lot easier for him to still move. Yeah. Whereas if I control at the head, it becomes a lot more difficult. I look for the underhook. Once I have the underhook, what I'm going to do is I start to slide. I keep sliding until my leg is like a pillow. From here, what I'm going to do is don't fall backwards. You will get, if you fall backwards, he's going to come up, you have nothing. Fall lined up with him. Fall lined up. And now he's got a bad choice. What is he going to do? Okay? So basically what I do is I line up behind him. We're going to do from a different angle too. Maybe this, your head this way. Basically what I do is, the biggest mistake people do is they feel like, okay, I'm somewhat in a position to get a triangle. It's not really there unless you line up behind him. And then is that back triangle, ugly triangle. So your head this way, Sean. So I sweep my leg back, I control his head. Slide it. I am looking for the underhook. As soon as I get the underhook, what I'm going to start to do is slide up, and now I fall behind him. I'm okay if, again, if he stays where he is, you always have an option to take a Kimura grip. But from here, I continue to pull. Yeah. And from here, it's very, very strong back triangle, which allows us to finish. So, what other questions do you have for the elf of beatings?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Aaliyah is in Puerto Rico. She said the hat looks great.
What's up, Aaliyah? I wanted a red one or a green one. Green one's my favorite color.
Good morning, James, Einsberg, Elad, Diego.
What's
baseball.
up, guys?
Big
Happy
crew
holidays. Whatever you guys are celebrating, I hope it's a good one for you.
Yes.
So
we have questions, yes.
Yes, we have.
Starting off with James, can an old, fat, and slow hit a hip bump? What's your thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
It's not the speed; it's the angle. So a lot of times, when I teach this, I teach this very slow. So it's very important is look at how my legs are. I don't drop my hips. If you drop your hips, you're not gonna get that done. So don't drop your hips until you're ready. So kind of arch, turn, post. And what I'm doing is I don't even look at him. You can see how slow that was. Again, don't look at necessarily to complete the hip bump. I'm going to do it again from this angle, Sean. Don't look at it as a, all right, this is the way it's got to be. How's the weather in Puerto Rico, Aaliyah? It's cold here.
Probably better than here, yeah.
Anyways, don't look at a hip bump sweep as I got to get mounted or I failed. A lot of times I will hit it and I'm looking for a reaction. You know, you can go into split guard, you can go into udagatame, you can go into kimuras, you can even go into guillotines. From there, you have to switch the angle. But there's a lot of other follow-ups you can do if it fails. So again, lift your hips, almost arch. So we're fighting. Drop your hips and look. Look at your hand. Look at your hand. Of course, I'm going to try to stop his elbow, but there's no way he's going to stop it. Now you can look at him. So I'd encourage you to play around with it. It's a good one, but it's an angle that gets it done. And we're out of time. Guys, let me at least start the topic that we're going to cover a little bit greater depth on the app. And that's a guillotine follow-ups. A lot of people make a mistake of kind of when they wrap the head in, it doesn't matter whether it's an arm in or, arm in or no arm, and they just wind up with the guy in their guard. Okay, this is a complete mistake. So what we're going to do is let's talk about guillotining and what are some of the follow-ups. Of course, usually if the guy flops, you can go into anaconda. The problem becomes when it's a crappy guillotine, be it arm in or no. Again, guys, the guillotines, don't look at them as this is right and this is wrong. No, they have different roles. So for example, if we look at a high elbow guillotine, it has very high constriction power. But if this fails, I don't think, I definitely cannot cement mix with his hand. And chances are you're not going to get your left arm into cement mix either because it's just too deep. If you do the shell type of guillotine, what I do is I can cement mix to my left or to my right, okay? With arm in, again, I cannot, chances are I cannot, if this is failing, I cannot cement mix with this hand, but I can cement mix with the other. And a lot of times I will wind up getting the sweep. So again, what we're going to be covering is guillotines that, not a good one where the guy has to react and starts running and chase him down to the follow-up submission, but to one where you kind of failed with the guillotine where you really didn't threaten him, although at least you need to make sure that shoulder's forward. All right, guys, I will see you next Friday, December 29th for episode 51, last episode of the year. Can you believe that? Every single week. I think we may have pre-recorded like maybe four or five episodes, but other than that, we've been live pretty much every single week. Anyways, guys, happy holidays. I will see you next week. Let's go to the app side.